welcome to the Alberta Avalanche podcast. I am your host, Rupert56, and there's your other host, Psychopan3000. Today we were talking about Star Wars in the theme of May the 4th. It's coming up. If you don't know what May the 4th is, May the 4th is the Disney.
It's a fan-made event. Disney has in the past tried to make it theirs, but it is a fan-made thing. And because us being Star Wars
geeks,
we
have plenty of Funko Pops behind us. Not on this shelf.
They're mostly
behind
me, right there.
There's
lots
of
there.
Funko Pops, and we're very big Star Wars people. Always have been. Well, not always, but we've always been. Well,
no, we've pretty well always been Star Wars. Even from when we were really, really, really young.
Yeah.
We still love Star Wars.
Agreed.
I do have to say, I'm gonna go on record. It's probably one of my favorite franchises.
I have to agree too.
It was one of my, still is one of my favorite franchises.
Yeah.
It has a special place in my heart. I love it. It's really good shows. So just as a general synopsis, if you have never watched Star Wars, it's about a boy who goes into space, blows up a Death Star, meets a furry walking carpet, and a smuggler that help him blow up the Death Star, rescues a princess while blowing up a Death Star, and eventually takes down the Empire.
While blowing up a Death Star.
Exactly.
So mostly it's all about a Death Star, but
maybe Death Star is actually the
original.
real.
There's also, but then there's the first three, which is about a boy who is found to have powers beyond imagination.
But then he grows up to make a Death Star.
Yes, he does.
We just discovered something new. Star Wars is all revolving around a Death Star.
It's a vicious cycle.
maybe it's not even a Star Wars. Maybe it's a Death Star show.
Thoughts?
Wow. Actually, no, it's probably not, but... okay, so first things first. We don't really have, again, like normal, we have There we go. I just paused my music. We have absolutely no key point outlines. Again, as much as I was trying to. So
we really do try, chat. We do try every single time.
But we just end up failing anyway. Do I have a notepad even on my computer? 1 second.
Wait, I do. I don't even think I do, but
apparently I do have a notepad. So I'm just gonna write down some questions. We'll start off. I'm just gonna write down the questions while I'm asking them, so that way we don't ask two of the same ones.
True.
We're gonna start off with why we love Star Wars. Ripper, you start us off.
I'll start out. Why do I love Star Wars? That's a really good question. I just love that it's not like an Earth-based story where it's spies and assassins and all of that on Earth that happens on Earth. I like that it's more of a out of our world sort of thing, more of a far away. It's carefree. It's cool. The characters are really well defined, either through the books or through the movies or through the TV shows. They're always well defined characters. They kind of got away from that in the last three, but we won't get into that quite yet.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But the first original 6 and the TV shows like the Clone Wars, they just really well defined characters, and I just really enjoy that. The action. I love the starfighters. I love the big massive starship battles.
Well, let's just be real. We have a BB unit sitting behind us on the stream cam.
For sure. It's just, I love the technology. It's slightly possible. What they talk about is slightly possible, but it's still not. It's still way out of this world.
Hyperspace is possible.
Well, maybe.
Hyperspace is less likely than transwarp drive from Star Trek.
True. But it's still slightly possible. Everything that happened in there is slightly possible, except for maybe the aliens, but
And maybe the Death Star. I don't think...
there's possibility to make a laser strong enough to blow up a planet, but it would take an enormous amount of power.
I think it would require a power of a sun.
Yeah, which... technically in the... Which one?
Just making sure we're not live.
The 7th one?
Yeah.
They did destroy one which sapped on the power of sun, so technically it's possible.
Albeit unlikely.
It's just so fantastic. that you know it's possibly can't be true, but it's so awesome that you just keep on going back for it.
I do have to
What
say,
about you,
like,
Psycho?
what I love about Star Wars is the original cast and crew. Like, they just jived really well together. Like,
True.
especially, it was just something completely
the
different.
Padme Amidala and the Anakin just.
Well, I mean,
jived.
Luke, Han,
Oh yes.
it just,
the original cast. Okay.
like, I like the new ones too, but like,
yeah, for sure.
it just something classic about them. Like, Star Trek is really hard to get into unless you're a major Trekkie.
Yeah.
Star Wars seems very easy to follow storyline.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to throw you in over the deep end, at least unless you get into the extended universe, which
Yeah.
we will be getting into. But yeah, there's something classic about it.
Yeah.
Especially if you have somebody who really is a Star Wars nerd to watch it with, and you can just like both geek out.
Yeah. And it's
Perfection.
almost when it was first came out, it was instant classic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand how they did it, but it's instant. No matter, like, just hats off to George Lucas just for making this iconic.
Well,
I mean, technically, let's not go into that, okay? I am a huge Star Wars fan. Dune came out just recently with a movie.
Dune's
so technically,
book
who got
was
it
the
first?
inspiration
Who got
for
it
the
first?
first
Who got it first?
Dune's book was the first inspiration. Like, the book of Dune, if you read the book, it's pretty well like a lot of it is just Tatooine and Luke Skywalker, even down to Paul. But like,
But let's just be honest. Like, it's just who got it first.
I
Technically,
know.
but
Like,
and
the
who-
inspiration you can see, Lucas got it from Dune.
yeah, it's almost like nowadays where songs are all the same practically.
Pretty well, and you
Yeah.
just pay royalty fees in
Yeah.
order to say it's your own.
True. But it's just,
Ugh.
yeah, it's just an amazing creation of a movie, and it's just there's something about it. I don't know.
Just a classic.
I don't even know how to explain it. There's just something.
It's a classic one, but
But do you have any other favorite parts of Star Wars? What would you qualify as your favorites?
it's just, yeah, I like the technology. It's definitely one of those ones where a lot of the back in the day when the space movies were first coming out, there were like a lot of sleek starships and really sleek technology. And Star Wars just came out and was like, you know what? Let's just make them clunky looking. Like, everything just they look more realistic. And I think that was one of the appeals when Star Trek first came out. Is just, sure, it was out of this world, pun intended, but it still looked technically feasible. Because, like, sure, our PCs have RGB now, but they're still just a square box mostly, unless you pay $1,000 for a custom-made case.
True.
And that still looks like a Star Wars computer because there's just a box.
There's also like the wall-mounted ones, where they're like just the flat ones with the wall up.
I
that they're just
love
put
the
on
wall mounted. I want to do a wall mounted PC.
They look kind of ridiculous. They're just flat.
I just want to do one behind you right there of a wall mounted PC.
Imagine a full wall made out of PC parts.
Server room.
This is a bad idea, but we're getting off track of
Yes,
subject.
off track. So my first question is, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Ooh, good question. I've always liked Rex, but he was never really in the original movie. So if
It could be any of them.
any
Clone
Okay.
Wars, Mandalorian,
books and stuff too.
books. Oh, that's a different one. Actually, we're going to go. Thank you. We'll do after this one. Who's your favorite EU character, extended universe?
Okay. So I've always liked Captain Rex from the Clone Wars, and those are canon, so you can technically talk about them. But I've always loved that character. Just Obi-Wan Kenobi too, but I've always loved that character. How about you, bro?
So I'm trying to fix something here. I personally, I think I have to go Commander Cody.
Okay.
Like, I love the clone soldiers.
Mm.
Maybe it's just because I grew up like Clone Wars. I love the clone
Yeah.
soldiers. Sure, they ended up destroying the Jedi, but still, I like the clone soldiers. So I would have to go Cody hands down. But now the
Yeah.
next one, including EU.
Including
Would you still
you.
go Rex, or would you have to add a second one?
I would say Thrawn, but
Oh.
he isn't necessarily extended universe
True.
but he is in the books. So
Well,
I'd have
maybe
to
just
add
go Mythra
Thrawn and
Neuter.
Rex would be my top two. Top two, EU and movies included. Top two.
Rex.
Complete.
Okay.
Rex and Thrawn.
Mine would be Darman,
Darman.
Republic
Ooh,
Commando.
true.
Oh, what's her name? Karen Travis.
Karen Travis, yeah.
Sheesh! You cannot go wrong with those books. Those ones are
Really
those
good.
ones are legitimately the best ones ever.
She did a really
Like,
good job.
if you're a fan of The Mandalorian, I'm sorry, they did The Mandalorian wrong in those books. I mean, the movies. The true Mandalorians are found in Carrish Travis's books.
It's so well done.
Oh, I
It's
love
just
them.
shocking.
Those ones would probably be Darman would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
That hands down,
Republic
100%.
Commando, just if you're looking on like Amazon or anything, it's Republic Commando by Karen Travis.
Yeah, it is out of print, and you might have to pay a pretty penny for them.
True.
Unless you get them on Kindle, then just buy them on
True.
Kindle. They are expensive now because they are out of print for nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
I think so, at least. But like, yeah.
It's really good books though, you know?
I did for the extended universe. I'm just gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent there. There was a lot of really good material that Disney, when they acquisitioned it, that they kind of threw out the window a little bit. I kind of miss some of the extended universe a little bit.
I know, you can actually get them.
Oh, how much?
For, on Amazon.ca.
Yeah.
Hard Contact, Star Wars Legends, Republic Commando,
Yeah.
$11 for
Oh.
the paperback. And then 000 Star Wars Legends, that's like 6 books. $5.
$5, and then Imperial
Yeah.
Imperial Commando.
There's Hard Contact, there's 000, there's True Colors, there's Order 66, and then there's... I'm missing one. No!
Republic Commando wasn't the first one.
No, the first one was Hard Contact.
Okay.
So I'm just missing one. But you can get them all on Amazon for like 10, $11. So, cool.
Yeah, I didn't
They're not
realize
out of
they were.
print. Let's
Okay.
go. Woo!
They used to be okay. I'll clarify that. They used to be like a month, like during lockdown. That's when I checked. During the pandemic, they were so hard to find.
True.
I do remember that. But I do like about there was just a lot of rich content in the extended universe, like
Yeah.
through many of the books. And I'm kind of sad when Disney came and like threw it all out the window. But we'll get into the Disney acquisition later.
Well, I think just a little bit of on the note of that. George Lucas said he was never going to do anything more with his extended universe, even though he had written up 3 other movie scripts.
He had written 3 other movie scripts plus a TV show called Underworld.
But he said he claimed he would never do another one. So I don't understand why he did 3 more and then didn't, or maybe that was
When Disney
scripts
bought
that-
it, they gave they bought his 3 scripts as well that he wasn't going to turn into movies.
Yeah, but it wasn't the movies they choose to.
No, they
make.
purchased it, and then his scripts they purchased as well, so that way he couldn't like put them out into the world. And so when he did that, then they just destroyed the script.
Really?
Yeah, they got rid of him.
Why
So
didn't they just use them?
because they wanted to do their own thing, better for merchandise.
I guess. Yeah.
But like,
But yeah,
yeah,
unfortunate. Movie. Like we'll get into that subject a little bit later. So your favorites are refresh my memory.
Darman and Commander Cody.
Commander
and yours
Cody,
was Rex across the board.
Rex and Thrawn. Across the board. Those are my top 2.
Now, another question would be, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh goodness. That is hard.
There's a lot of good ones. I'm just gonna go on record. Can I say mine first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Respect
My
it.
my top 3 would be Rogue One, A New Hope. No, not A New Hope. Sorry. Empire Strikes Back
Yeah.
and Revenge of the Sith. No, not Revenge. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Those would be my top 3 favorites.
Wow.
I like Rogue One because it doesn't have a happy ending. I just like movies without happy endings.
With happy endings.
With happy endings, like
What?
it's just a little bit more realistic. There's not always happy endings in real life, especially in the middle of a galactic war. But like, I liked the cast that they had, like Jyn Erso, Cassian Andor, K2. They were legitimately like, except for Han, Luke, and Chewie and
Yeah.
Leia, I would say like they kind of rivaled a little bit of that. Sure, like some areas of the script weren't exactly Star Wars. Like it left some plot holes then in A New Hope, but I don't really care too much. I like the movie. And then like, Boz and Shrute.
Oh.
Those 2 were hilarious.
Those were 2 were great. Yeah.
Like it left you with a lot of like, it definitely made you think, and it was a good cast and a good movie. I like
really
A
good,
New
yeah.
Hope. Sorry, Empire Strikes Back. There we go. That one was just a classic one. It was kind of like Star Wars at its peak
Yeah.
because it was just Vader, Rebels were they came off of a massive victory, but then the Empire just came and wiped their backside with them. And then I don't even know what it's
Okay.
It's just like I was gonna say kick their butt. There we go.
PG-13 rating on this podcast. Explicit content, yes sir.
They just came and kicked their backside to the curb. How about that?
Sure.
I don't even know what I was going with that one.
Well, anyway.
But like, it just But then you could see they were still gonna try and go for the victory.
Yeah.
And then I like Revenge of the Sith because it just had some really cool moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of my favorite ones where like, it was just a good, not funny movie, but it was just, I'm not sure how you're going to attribute Revenge of the Sith to funny. Ignore me. Ripper, you
Han
you can
Solo
go.
might be in it. I don't know. Wait, Revenge of the Sith was... No! Oh,
That's where Anakin went bad.
Oh, that's where Anakin went bad. Yeah, okay. No Han Solo in that one. Well, I don't know if it was
Unless you're going the
funny.
Lego version.
True, that one's funny. My favorite movie? Droid Tales. Droid Tales. I'm not trolling, bro. Droid Tales is literally Lego Star Wars Droid Tales. I wonder. Wait, is that a future length movie?
No, I think that's a series.
Wait, is Droid Tales Lego Star Wars Droid Tales? Lego Star Wars Droid Tales. Oh, it's a television series, bro.
Yeah, I told ya.
No, it went for 2 seasons. No, I thought it was a movie. Okay.
Have you ever
Well,
watched Droid Tales fully?
yes.
Okay.
Quite a few of them, at least. But, okay. Favorite movie? I like, the... Oh, no. I'm drawing blank.
Drum blank, bro. No.
Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
I like Attack of the Clones. And the fifth? No, the fourth. Yeah, the fourth.
Okay.
And then, yeah, those would probably be my top two.
Fourth is A New Hope.
Yeah.
That's the one you meant, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
New Hope, yeah.
The one where they just introduced Luke Skywalker
Yeah. That's the one I
with the
mean.
Jawas.
Yeah.
And the Sandcrawlers.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just
Sorry for
picking
the
on you. I do
specifics.
know. I'm sorry. I got lost in space. It's been a long week. Oh my
Yeah, it's
word.
been a long week anyway. It's a little long weekend indeed, but yeah, I enjoy those two movies. Other than that, I'm not a huge fan of the other ones, especially not the last three. But yeah, I keep on
We digress.
throwing the last three out there.
We're just throwing them under the
No,
bus.
The porgs
Are
that
pretty
came from-
gutted.
Hi, Kevin. But the porgs that came from right down there. I don't think the camera can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. The porgs that came from that movie.
By the way, just so you know,
Goated.
the entire time you've been in like this little tiny corner of your camera.
I can't really more in my camera.
Yeah, there we go. You might want to like maybe sit up a little bit more too, because like you're like at the bottom of your camera, like 1/5, and Kevin just like, I have this entire space.
He deserves it, honestly. He's been pulling the weight of this stream and this podcast for a while now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, those are my top two.
Now, besides favorite movies, what would be your favorite like spin-off, like show? Still within like an actual made show, but like your favorite show, TV series, television series, which is a TV show.
I think I already mentioned it.
Droid
Tales, baby.
You probably just severely clipped your mic there.
Sniffing into it.
Yeah.
And by the way, my mic has quite the smell to it. I wonder what that smell is.
It's called peanut butter. Kevin thinks it makes it play better.
It smells like. Oh, that smells like oil or something.
It's probably what they use to wrap the.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Anyway.
But like, mine would probably have to be. I'm gonna go Clone Wars.
Clone Wars? Okay.
Clone
Yeah.
Wars was like, I liked Star Wars Rebels. The last season was like the slowest season of all time. But like,
Oh, but then there's like the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba, and then there's the new. We can't actually say what's our favorite because Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming.
I don't have very high hopes for Kenobi.
Why?
I'm gonna go into that in a minute, but
Okay.
I liked the Star Wars. I disliked the last season. Clone Wars. I'm I'm not considering that final season a part of Clone Wars. That was a spin-off show. That one's a sub-season. That was the Adventures of Ahsoka.
True.
Like,
True.
still a good series. Not focused on the Clone Wars, more of Adventures of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Let's go a little bit into the talk about Disney now.
Okay,
We
Disney
keep throwing it under the bus so far. I think we've thrown it under the bus like 5
What,
times.
the Disney stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Though, I've got to say, Disney did make it a whole lot bigger than it could have been under Lucas. I gotta throw that out. First thing off, they've got enough money to make it like into a park. They've got enough money to make it more of an attractive brand.
But here's the thing. I'm just gonna put it this way. Why did they need to buy the movie rights when they bought Fox a few years later? They would have gotten it then.
Would have they though? Because if they had to go through Lucas to buy it,
Maybe,
then it
but
wouldn't
like
have been.
they would have
couldn't
still
gotten it.
acquired the. My thing is, I dislike Disney's acquisition of Star
Yeah.
Wars. They
Okay.
made some of the worst movies in Star Wars
History?
franchise. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm speaking that from somebody who's literally watched Star Wars from like 2 years old. No,
As bad as you can call Hayden Christensen for his Anakin acting, which he was a little over the top, but he was still a good actor.
and that's how the way like Lucas asked him to act. He stated that multiple times. Is like he didn't choose to act Anakin that way. That's how they wanted him to act. And just look at his acting career of how many awards he's won.
Yeah. And he's in no other movie does he act like that.
I
so-
just think that with the new ones, like I love Rogue One, but I would say Rogue One was the peak of Disney Star Wars.
yeah.
Force Awakens, it wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty well a carbon copy of the first Star Wars, New
Yeah.
Hope. Pretty
Yeah.
well, even down to the fact that Rey growing up on Jakku. I just realized Batuu and Jakku.
Also, L end with a U.
Yeah, very good on their naming of their planets.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
know.
she grew up on that small town planet, doesn't know who her family is. Same thing with Luke Skywalker. Grows up, joins the Resistance, blows up their Super Star Destroyer thingy.
Yeah.
After having to go rescue, they have to go rescue her from the middle of it, similar to Princess Leia. It's pretty well a carbon copy. Not gonna hang it against it. The cast was good. I love John Boyega. I love Daisy Ridley. I
Yeah.
loved Oscar Isaac. Like they had a very good
Is
crew.
it Daisy Ridley?
I think so.
I think so. Might be wrong on that. Don't know. Not positive.
Then Rogue One, perfect. Last Jedi.
Ah.
The only good thing about that was the porgs.
Yes.
I love the porgs. Like, it was just more seemed like a Star Wars show than it ever felt like a full-fledged movie. Like,
Yeah.
even looking back, I was not a fan of it first when it came to
It
theaters.
should have been a show, not a movie.
It was just a very slow, like, why did they have to go into the casino? What did the casino help you? Like, the casino in Canto Bight.
I'm surprised you can remember that name.
Like I said, Star Wars nerd.
Nerd.
Nerd. But like, why did they have to go to Canto Bight? It really, except getting the Codebreaker, who the Codebreaker worked for the Imperial and betrayed them. And Haldo still ended up going into hyperspace through the Star Cruiser. I just
In
didn't.
original books, that would not have been able to happen. Original books, original movies, that would not have been able to happen.
Maybe it would have been able to happen. Like, props to thinking of going into hyperspace through their Super Star Cruiser, but like, it just doesn't really seem like. Yeah, it just seems, especially with the Return of the whatever that one is, The Last Jedi. I nearly called it Return of the Last Jedi, but it seemed very unthought out. Like, why would the Empire? They just lost a star planet. Why did they build the world's biggest star cruiser? Like, what was the rationality behind
I
that?
don't know.
Like, I know the Emperor always like kind of
Figures
cheesy
better.
part of original Star Wars. Why did they build 2 Death Stars? The first one failed so miserably.
yeah.
Why'd they build a second? I don't know. But why did they First Order follow that exact same thing of building it to be better, bigger? It's like, it's bigger, it's better, it's too much for Mr. Incredible.
Honestly, though, it's so true.
But
But,
it just, and then Solo, don't get me started on Solo. That was legitimately the worst Star Wars movie yet.
Yeah.
That one wasn't even like in the books. I'm gonna just a little bit of Ethan heavy for a second, then we'll go little will let you in on this. In the books, the smugglers had a very much so their own personality, their own culture. When they did Solo, they just turned him into a space pirate. Or I mean, a space cowboy. That's not really what a smuggler was. They had their own swag, and so they lost a lot of the Solo's charm in turning him into like this gunslinging. No.
Okay, just making sure.
That's why I checked over like when I reached over there for a second.
Yeah.
Because
okay,
I'm like,
just
are
making
we
sure.
live?
Yeah, we're not live. We're not live.
We're fine.
Just
I'd be
make sure.
legitimately there. I have also chat open this time, so I can see if anybody's like, you're live.
And be like, oh no.
And it says recording, not live. Live
Okay.
says 000. But back on what I was saying, like,
Yeah.
they just lost so much of Solo's character, turning him into like this space cowboy, and turning it into like you're running like a stagecoach. They turned them. I don't know how they turned the Millennium Falcon into a stagecoach. The fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy into this stagecoach to travel you from there to there.
I mean, yeah.
Like, it's a good movie. I like the cast was okay. I didn't understand Korra.
No, neither did I.
Like, why did they give Han another love interest?
Yeah.
Like, I know he had lots in the extended universe, but like, he just, yeah. Paul Bettany, I did like that character,
Yeah, true.
but like, I'm gonna get into the other part in a second. Like, Memphis Nest. I don't know why Disney has like such a big problem with making villains anymore. It's like everybody's an anti-hero, and I'm like, I kind of like the good old-fashioned villains. Like Memphis Nest, where they were the villains, and then they were the good guys. And like, it just, yeah. I miss the older ones of like the older Star Wars where there was a villain.
Yeah.
Like, sure, Darth Vader had his redemption story, but the Emperor Palpatine was evil. There was no saving him.
Yeah.
But like, Kylo Ren, he was good. Then he turned evil, and then he was back to good, but then he dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Rey, she was good, then evil, then good. And like, it's so much. There's no. The thing about Vader was he was just this guy behind a mask originally. You didn't know who he was. He was scary. And then as soon as like when he turns good, you can see he's still a human. And like, that's my problem with like, it just, there's no more villains in Star Wars. Everybody's an anti-hero. And that's not how original Star Wars was started on.
Yeah.
Original Star Wars had a villain. And that was so cool about it is the villain was overpowering the rebels. And now it's like, well, the villain, he could be your friend in the future. Just make sure you treat him nice. It seems
Don't hurt him too badly, you know.
it seems more like a kids show now. Like,
Yeah.
remember, kids, if that bully's beating you up, just remember, don't fight back. He could be your friend one day. It's like
I mean, first of all, I guess that's a kind of a chalked
analogy. I know.
analogy, but
Like, it's kind of what it seems like. Is no matter what you do, they're still gonna be your friend one day.
yeah.
And
I don't know.
yeah, it doesn't suit me as like what Star Wars was originally founded on. There was always an evil in Star Wars, the Sith.
Yeah.
And now it seems like there's two different things. It could be good, it could be bad. But it just matters is if we make another action figure out of you.
Very true.
And I'm not even going to go into the whatever the final one was called.
So it's The Last Jedi. So it's Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and
Rise of Skywalker.
yes, that's it.
I only watched that one once, and I was like, I'm never buying this movie. That's my thought. I don't think we even own that one, do we? Or were
No,
we
I don't
given
believe
it?
We do.
We
Yeah,
might
we
have-
do. Yeah, we
We
do.
might have been given it.
Yeah. I don't think we bought it.
Yeah, I can't even watch that one again. That one was just so weird. That one was like a.
Well, that one was the one you were talking about where they ran the starship into that.
That was The Last Jedi.
Okay, so I don't really remember even the.
The Rise of Skywalker. Remember, they're getting chased by stormtroopers on jetpacks, and they said, Poe Dameron says they can fly now, even though stormtroopers have been flying since like before in the first movie they had flying. No, second movie they had jetpack stormtroopers.
True.
Like, I'm not sure how in like nearly 7 movies they've completely forgot that stormtroopers could fly, but like.
I guess it's easy after so many years.
But yeah,
I don't know.
that one was more comedic than it was anything. Like, Why did Palpatine have this giant fleet just sitting in this planet protecting him? We don't know. Why didn't he just steamroll the galaxy? Why did he wait for the rebels to attack him there? We don't know. Why was he cloning himself even though he blew up in a Death Star? We really don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's strange, for sure.
And they never, yeah, like, especially with Poe, like, they never completed their storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Poe never had a completed story arc. Finn never had a completed story arc. Rey never had a completed story arc. Like, sure, we found our parents, but we don't. There's so many questions. Like, I love Poe Dameron and Finn and Rey. I love these characters. And Kylo Ren. But it just, there was never any, like, not sure the word I'm looking for. There was never any closure with their stories.
Closure, that's a good word for it.
Like, there were so many questions. Like, what do you do? What happens? What happens next? When they
excuse me.
When they said they were going to finish it off in Rise of Skywalker, they said they were going to answer all the questions from the Return of the Jedi. And sure, they fired like the director and the writer, and like fired the other director and writer.
Well, good riddance for that, but still.
It just it never left any closure to the story.
Yeah.
And so what are your thoughts on Disney Star Wars? Sorry, that was like 10 whole minutes of just Psycho being ranting about Disney.
Well, I agree completely with your movie wise, for their acquisition of Disney's acquisition of Star Wars. I didn't like any of the three. I liked the Porgs, and that was really it. I liked some of the characters in it, but then again, not all of them. So I'm just gonna go into the TV shows. It's the same part of the acquisition of Disney's acquisition of Star Wars. They're TV shows.
I didn't even get into that.
I like The Mandalorian. The first season of The Mandalorian. Wait, has there been a second season of The Mandalorian yet? There was. Yes.
There was.
Yes. I like the first and second season of The Mandalorian. It was good. I like the characters. They're very, like, I would say almost relatable. But, like, they're likable for sure. Baby Yoda, adorable. Mandalorian, very, like, stoic and really cool, and a really cool story arc, and his story is really well done. Book of Boba, though. Disappointing, to say the least. I love Boba Fett. I have always loved Boba Fett. I have loved his StarCraft. They renamed it. I love the StarCraft. I love everything that almost has to do with Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Mandalorians. Love it. I wish they actually did him justice, though, in that TV show. They didn't do him justice. He was a bounty hunt, cold killer bounty hunter. If he wanted something, he would have taken it. Like, I understand how they made him a nice guy, and like over years, and like with that tribe thing, but you could still give him that tribe thing, but give him that really hard edge.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna agree. Like, Boba is also one of my favorite characters, hands down. I didn't put him in my top favorite because of the Book of Boba Fett. I think that Disney, and I'm just gonna say about this show, is the reason why I haven't got into them, because that was the next thing I was gonna talk about. I think the shows have been like the biggest ups and downs in Star Wars. Like, first season of Mandalorian, incredible, absolutely amazing. I love the cast. I love the show. Second season, worst yet.
I disagree, but
like, I'm not saying it was a bad show, in a sense.
Worst yet after a fantastic season. That's still a really good season.
But like, it was not nearly it didn't live up to the hype of the first one. What I'm meaning is.
Yeah, well, that's really hard to do after you unveiled the cutest character that's ever made Star Wars, and then you got like TikTok, and you got like
I just made it like a viral
Instagram, meme. You got Twitter, you got literally every major social media platform, all talking about this little adorable little cute creature. In fact, there's like little adorable cute creature up in the corner right there, in the picture. But of Baby Yoda and Mandalorian, but like.
I just think
the Mandalorian shows, I think were really good.
I think
they're still gonna be really good.
Hopefully.
But like back to the Boba, if they wanted a nice clan leader, but who had a really hard edge, They should have just done Call Scarada. They should have done the Call Scarada show. And if you don't know what that is, that's also from the Republic Commando, Karen Travis's Republic Commando, also on Amazon. Go check it out.
I'm just gonna say something here. Like, I just want to quickly go back to Mandalorian before we go off on the Boba Fett.
Well, Boba Fett is Mandalorian practically.
Boba Fett is like season 2.5 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's like
The reason why I didn't like the second season is they regressed on so much of the Mandalorian's character. Like, sure, you want to give him heart, but like, why? They just made so many choices in it that it was like, you're still trying to figure out.
What choices? Wait, what choices are you meaning?
Like, why did he ever give up Grogu? Why didn't he, like, when you have a foundling in Mandalorian culture, you raise that as your child. And sure, in the Mandalorian, I mean, the Mandalorian season 2.5, Boba Fett, Grogu comes back to the Mandalorian, but it just, you still could have stayed with him and protected him while Luke trained him.
Yeah.
Why? Also, where was? Well, maybe they'll do it in the Ahsoka show, but where was Ahsoka during the Galactic Rebellion?
Galactic Rebellion?
Like, during the first 3 movies. Like, sure.
Oh.
Like, they never really explained that. She was hiding away on a deserted planet.
Yeah. They claim that that's gonna be explained in. Are
We'll
they doing
see.
a Thrawn season or are they doing an Ahsoka season?
They're doing an Ahsoka season though, which,
Okay.
but like,
I'm not a huge fan. Let me just say that now. I'm not a huge fan of the actor of Ahsoka, just for personal reasons. But
she didn't play it with enough, like, the heart of Ahsoka.
no, there was no heart of Ahsoka, to be honest.
And I think that was
she's
maybe
a really cool character. Like Ahsoka from like the TV shows, really cool character, really well done. Ashley Eckstein, fantastic. I cannot stress this enough. Fantastic voice actor.
Oh yeah, and I don't know why they didn't get her
Incredible.
back because she does even real life acting.
Yeah.
Like,
They
but
could
like,
have done her, but it's just they didn't have heart. They didn't have the
They-
soul of Ahsoka in it, and her combat style
and
was different.
I think
too.
even for the Mandalorian, they lost a lot of the Mandalorian soul in the second season. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Is like, they didn't keep it up to the hype, but more importantly, they didn't keep the Mandalorian. There was something different about him. But like, the cool thing about the Mandalorian was, like, in the first one, he's just this guy in a armored shell. The only time you see his face is at the end. And I just think that was kind of more cool of, like, he's just this big, tough dude. And then he just kind of turns into this in the second one. Like, he almost seemed to second guess his every decision.
Yeah.
And back to Boba. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, nothing. I was just gonna say, like, would you blame all these changes? Had it been any different under George Lucas? Like, is this mainly Disney's ideas of the character, or is this just?
You can definitely see in the Mandalorian, in the book of Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett. I love the Mandalorian culture. They're my favorite things in the book ever, hands down. The biggest thing with, like, the book of Boba is it wasn't really the book of Boba. Like, he was a bounty hunter in the books, and he was ruthless, and he would do anything to get his job done. He had that ethic about himself, as he would, job's done. You paid me, I've completed it.
Yeah.
And even in the movies, you can see he's just this man encased in armor. Nothing phases him. He survives a Starlek in the books.
I mean, I guess you could say you're reading too much into the books. Like, you're wanting too much of the books to come out into the movies, but then you gotta realize the books made the movies.
Yeah, the books, the extended universe is what kept people interested from Star Wars from 1990s to 2000s when they did the next one. That was the reason why people love Star Wars. And you've grown to attach to these characters when you read them in the books, and then when you go and watch the ones of, like, okay, I can finally see a little bit of Boba Fett. And he's like this old, like, I get that the actor is no longer the young actor he once was. I get that.
Yeah.
But, like, there's so many decisions that he made that was not in character even remotely with Boba that we've known and loved.
Wait, you mean the actor made?
No, like the show made.
Okay.
Like, sure, he can, like, do backflips and, like, cool martial arts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Which you could probably make that in the storyline because he was eaten by a literal Starlek.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. He probably wouldn't be able to fight as much. But, like,
No.
why? He tried negotiating with everybody. That's not really Boba.
No.
Boba would just literally be like, this is mine. You don't like it? Goodbye.
fight me for it.
Yeah, like that was kind of Boba's style.
Yeah.
He was a gunslinger, kind of like Han.
Yeah.
And I just think personally it wasn't the worst ever show,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really a Boba Fett show, especially near the end where they just started doing like fan service to Mandalorian, to like all these other shows. And it was just more like you kind of lost everybody. It felt like you lost everybody.
Yeah.
And so you started doing collabs. You're like, let's do Mandalorian, throw him in there. And then I'm just going to say, what was the assassin's name?
Vanek?
Vanek, I think was her name.
Assassin's name from Assassin's name
remember her name.
from
Boba Fett.
Boba
Boba Tea? Not Boba Tea.
I spell assassin wrong. Fennec Shan.
Fennec Shan. She was probably one of the coolest characters that they introduced. I
so
loved
dope.
Fennec Shan's character.
Oh man.
But
She
like
was really cool.
they didn't give her enough time to shine either, I don't think. They toned her down like I was kind of hoping for like an underworld criminally vibe sort of show. And it kind of seemed like what they sold it as versus what you actually get, kind of that meme. What you're expecting, what you really get.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just maybe if anybody else is in like the comments, maybe it's just us as being like diehard Star Wars fans from years and pouring hours into the books and months reading them. When we actually get to see these characters of how Disney's now thinking of them.
Yeah.
Maybe it just
I mean, Fennec Shan was never in the books.
yeah. And I think Fennec Shan personally could have been one of the coolest parts of that show. But they feel like they did nothing with Fennec.
She was just there.
And like Fennec could kick your butt to the curb and like clear out an entire house. And I felt like Boba was even holding her back.
Yeah.
Like Boba was telling her not to protect him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questionable designs. And I do agree about Disney when you said a comment earlier. Disney did a lot to bring it to the mainstream again. Like Star Wars, you still heard about Star Wars, like, but it was more.
It wasn't movies. You couldn't really.
It was more Lego sets and like tie-ins like that.
Yeah.
And then Disney comes along and makes it literally a theme park.
Yeah.
But I think
They
at the
make that you can go to a literal immersive Star Wars like land. Like literally, you go in there and you're like, this is Star Wars. I'm in Star Wars.
But I think that's the biggest thing about Disney is they're more concerned right now about making the next action figure to sell than kind of the long-term longevity. And same thing I'm going to say right now with Marvel. Marvel back when it first came out was like they were brand new movies, totally top of the class. And now they've grown a lot staler. Like every single Marvel movie is now the same, except for Spider-Man. I'm going to give that one, it was different. Let's see what happens with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Again, if you're watching this in the future, if Doctor Strange was really good, please put it down in the comments.
Don't
Just
tell
don't
us.
spoil
Don't
it.
spoil it, please.
But like, yeah. I feel like with Disney right now, a lot of their IPs are becoming what can we make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, that's also, I guess, a snake bite of them being such a big company. But yeah, I don't know.
like I'm gonna compare like Star Wars to Uncharted. I loved Uncharted. They had a good cast.
Such a good.
They had a good storyline. Sure, it was like probably of the video game. I don't even know too much of the video game.
Well, I think that's what made it so cool. It's like
I
don't have to play the game to understand what's going on.
Exactly.
Like for the movie, I literally got so immersive. I literally wanted to play the video game, all of them.
We nearly went back home and bought them on the PS5. Like that's how close we were. Like I do want to play them. We are going to play them one day on stream.
Yeah.
Just probably when we can actually.
I mean, they were
afford
only
them,
like
but-
$10 for like the first 3, but you know, it's just like
Still $30 for 3 games. But like that's off topic severely. But like yeah. I think the biggest thing right now is and what's holding Star Wars back is they're playing so heavy on the fan service that people new coming in are like, wait, what is going on?
fan service.
Like, fan service basically means when you're throwing in Easter eggs and hints to other Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
But then you're missing out the point of, like, the point of Star Wars back when it first came out was you could have been a nobody. and still know what Star Wars, what still the plot line was going on.
Yeah.
You didn't have to know what a kyber crystal was or midichlorians. You could just know about the Force. But now it seems like they're so heavily fan servicing that they're losing even their own fans. Because like, think of all the continuations, like the canon errors that they're having right now within their own thing.
Oh.
There's three different versions of Kanan Jarrus, who's from Star Wars Rebels. They have the version of Bad Batch, they have the comic book version, and then they have a book version.
Right. I forgot about that.
Which one's true? Do you trust the movies? Do you trust the comics book? Even the director said they knew about the continuity errors, but Disney told them to do it anyway. Like, there's no way to get involved in the lore when their own lore doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. And Bad Batch was, I'm just gonna say,
Bad Batch was dope.
Was a really good TV series.
Bad Batch wasn't good.
It was
Bad
good.
Batch was amazing.
I've got a little Funko Pop over there. It's Wrecker.
If anybody can find Omega, I need Omega to finish off. No, I'm joking.
I need
I can.
it.
It's just as a heads up. It's not available in Canada. It's only a Target exclusive in the States. So
Sag.
I know, and I don't want to pay $150 to have it shipped to Canada.
Yeah.
That's probably just the shipping, so it doesn't get destroyed by Canada Post. But
Gotta love
Bad
Canada
Batch was good.
Post.
Bad Batch.
Woo!
I'm just gonna say, Bad Batch was probably peak Star Wars for shows. That was
Yeah.
a good show.
Yeah.
It felt the most like a Star Wars, Clone Wars vibe, without it being too, like, even our mom, who's not that sure, she's surrounded by two Star Wars nerds, but like, she was even able to get into that show because it was simple enough that it was able to be understood of what was going on, but it wasn't too intense of like, like Boba Fett. I don't think anybody in our family was into Boba Fett. We watched it to watch it. But it was one of those ones at the end of the one where like, yeah, that wasn't very, very good.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I hope they do better in the future.
That's why I'm saying I'm not looking forward to Obi-Wan. Because if they do something to ruin Obi-Wan, I'm just gonna say like, this is coming from a big Star Wars fan. It's more nervous when they've hit some things out of the park, and then they just fouled on first base.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think is a baseball terms. So forgive me if that's bad terminology of baseball. But yeah.
Probably is. But you know what? That's fine.
It's, you're more hesitant going into it. Then you're like, oh, Obi-Wan. This is a character that literally is probably like a family favorite of ours.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not even sure if they're going to do him justice.
Yeah. I hope and I pray that they're going to do them justice in the next couple ones. We'll see, I guess. Honestly, we'll see. What other questions have you got for us, for the both of us?
I think it's just more talking points. Like, I don't have very many more questions, but like, what do you think Disney could do differently in order to get more diehards back into its fan base?
What could they do? Oof. An original script, honestly. Something like, I understand they don't want to get rid of the old fan base, but honestly, just do something so original, so different from the other movies and from the other TV shows,
But still make it Star
still,
Wars.
Still link it with Star Wars, and do whatever you want with that world, and then, like, with that, like, yeah, I think that'll actually make more fans happy than it would actually make them mad, to be honest.
I'm just gonna put it this way. I kind of hear what you're saying, and I think that's what they tried to do with The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
It wasn't any different, though.
They tried to make it too different in the same time frame, but they forgot what made it so popular. And like, literally, The Last Jedi, I'm gonna give it that. It was the most different Star Wars script ever.
Yeah.
Like, they changed up the plot line, but it failed. It failed miserably because it just didn't vibe with the style of movie that Star Wars has always been.
Yeah.
Star Wars has been a space epic, not a space soap opera.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it can be a space soap opera, let's be real. But like,
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think Disney, from now on, Disney needs to leave behind, like, that chunk of time frame that Star Wars is in.
Yeah.
They need to go either High Republic, so like early Republic days, or go thousands of years into the future.
Yeah.
And like start exploring more in that area. Then Disney can have more creative rights over like what they're doing. But then if the fans really hate it, they're not like, they can hate it,
Yeah.
but they can't really do much because it's in a different time frame.
Yeah.
And I think that would get more people like, yeah, I would agree.
They need to do something so different. Yeah.
I felt like especially the final trilogy, they relied so much on Luke, Han, Leia, except when they killed Han in the first one, to carry their poor script. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
Like, they played more on fan service than actually doing a good script. And I think that's what hindered the sequel trilogy. And and I think that's still what hinders their TV shows, is they're trapped in this like ice box that they can't get out of. They're writing themselves into a box.
Yeah. I think they also went a little bit too close to the other ones in timeline wise. Like, they're only 20, 30 years off?
Yeah, I would say so.
Like 30 years off? That's not enough time to make your own movie, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
In order for a movie like that, I agree that you have to have it like either 1,000 years in the past or 1,000 years in the future.
Just do something to make it your own. Right now it seems like they're playing more on the past of the memory of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's what they're focusing so heavily on, is because a lot of fans are definitely nostalgic about OG Star Wars. Look how many people are nostalgic about OG Fortnite. You bring it back to them, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. And I think you're seeing that now more and more. And I'll even admit it about myself. I love the OG days. I'm not liking these days. And it's just taking something more original. Because when George Lucas originally made it, sure, it was a little bit copied from Dune. There was a lot of influence of Dune.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he still made this entire franchise his own.
Yeah.
And sure, Phantom Menace was a bad movie probably when it first came out.
Yeah.
But at least it pushed the envelope a little bit more of Star Wars.
It was hated when it came out?
Yeah, they literally told Jar Jar to go, like, jump off a bridge.
Right. Well, yeah.
And the fans hated it.
Jar Jar. I thought they hated Jar Jar.
No, they hate the entire movie.
Oh, I thought it was just Jar Jar.
It's now been let into the pantheon of movies because
they have so many other ones
that are so bad. So they need 6 that are good.
The first 3 were so good, and now these last 3 were like...
But, like, yeah. I don't think anything, though, is going to change the minds now of the fans about these current 3.
Yeah.
It's literally, if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you mention Last Jedi to any Star Wars fan, you're going to hear something about Canto Bight being bad, or the
something.
Finn.
You're gonna hear more of a negative response to it than a positive. Like, I think anybody you ask, they're always gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it was an okay movie, but then there was this, and then there was this."
It was a movie. It wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing about it, is it felt more like a Star Trek vibe than a Star Wars vibe.
True.
And
Very true.
I'm going to go on record again as saying Disney does a lot of good things. They have a lot of good movies, but they've also ruined a lot of franchises.
I think that's because they're such a big company, and so...
They definitely care about
long.
more about the action figures. They care about how many things they sell from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, look at any of the remakes that Disney does of their animated classics. Lion King. That's pretty well, I'm going to admit it. It has a good cast. Pretty well image for image retelling of Lion King. Aladdin. Great cast. Pretty well image for image of the original Aladdin.
Actually, I think that one's probably the most different.
Yeah, it has like 2 different scenes.
Though it's the most different out of all of the remakes.
Beauty and the Beast. Pretty well word for word, image for image retelling.
Yeah.
Cinderella. That one's the most different, but it's still like a Cinderella vibe.
It's still Cinderella because there's been so many of them. There's literally... How many Cinderella movies are there?
I think there's a lot.
There's the Cinderella...
There's too many to count.
How many...
But look at Marvel. Marvel's right now like retelling a lot of the OG stories that they had. And maybe it's just we've had so many good memories of the franchise. I'm excited to see where it goes. And if it does start knocking them out of the park of these shows, I'll be impressed. And I'm going to eat my words here for a second. I'm going to admit some of that was due to pandemic. Pandemic threw a wrench in a lot of these movies' plans because you had to either wait 8 months to finish filming or legitimately just use what you had.
Okay,
And, like-
so I just looked it up. There's legit, out of all of Disney's for Cinderella, there's legit 5 of their movies.
Wow.
Not even including the ones that are like knockoff brands.
Or like Sony's or
like,
Amazon
or like
Prime's
the ones
or
that they, or even the ones that Disney did that are practically Cinderella story, but like in IRL, like almost real lifetimes.
or Enchanted.
Or yeah,
But like
yeah.
I'm just gonna say, like, maybe they're part of the reason why these ones are so bad. Not Last Jedi, I'm talking about the shows. Was because pandemic legitimately threw a wrench in the plans.
True.
Let's see what happens with Obi-Wan Kenobi, which legitimately had no pandemic timing.
Yeah.
It started filming after pandemic. They had the chance to work on the script. Let's see what they can do full send. Mandalorian, the first season was done pre-pandemic. Second one was done during pandemic.
I hope they get out of the box with it.
I hope
honestly.
they begin playing with like what we were talking about of like experimenting more, but still keep it within the Star Wars.
Maybe start with a TV series here, like a TV series here, like TV series there, of like past or future or
Yeah, just begin,
whichever route they decide to go on.
just even there's
Or even
literally
like
we've
a
only
short
like
or something. I don't know.
we've only really, unless you're talking extended universe, we really only know like 150 years of Star Wars. The galaxy's like a couple thousand years old.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I do love Star Wars. It is one of my favorite franchises. But just as a diehard fan, it does feel a little bit annoying getting so hyped about something and then just being like,
A little under delivery. Yeah.
like Mandalorian, they didn't really hype it up, but it was a good show. I loved it. The cast was great. The story was amazing. Sure, like some of the cast did shoot themselves in the foot, causing them to be removed in the later seasons,
Which is unfortunate. of
which is
course.
unfortunate. But yeah, they still had a really, really, really solid way of doing things. And going into Obi-Wan, I hope they bring that energy into the next show.
Yeah. Agreed. I agree. I completely agree.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to what Disney's doing because I see like in the future they're doing a Rogue Squadron story. Nobody knows what Rogue Squadron is. It's a pretty good book series as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
By Patty Jenkins, I think too.
I don't know. I haven't read them actually, so. I
No,
can't
the book's
comment.
not by the director is Patty Jenkins, director of Wonder Woman.
Oh. Oh, cool.
So I'm looking forward for that movie. That one's, I think it's next year or the year after. I'm looking
Sure.
forward for that.
Wedge Antilles.
Wedge,
Pretty dope.
I love Wedge Antilles. Oh, there's so
That'll
many
be
good.
dope.
There's so many good Star Wars characters. Wedge Antilles, Wedge Antilles, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan.
Who are you thinking of? Trying to think
I
of?
don't know. I'm just trying to list off as many good Star Wars characters as I can think of without making it
there's
weird.
so
But I'm
many.
making it
There's
weird.
so many that it's hard to.
Oh yeah,
Bosk.
Finn,
Bane.
Poe, Cassian, Hunter,
Yeah.
Cody, Hardcase, Wrecker, Fives, Echo, 99. Like
Yeah.
literally,
So many.
there are
So many.
so many good ones.
And the list goes on and on.
Oh yeah, and actually,
Okay, I've got a question for you.
yeah.
What is your favorite Star Wars video game?
Oh, Lego Star Wars OG vibes. Can't break it.
The OG OG?
OG.
Are we talking like the?
I'm talking about the ones where you could drag your player off the.
Skywalker-
Not the Skywalker saga. I'm talking about the ones where you could just like drag your buddy off the into the lava while trying to run away from the destruction of Mustafar.
Yeah.
Or the one time where like one of you is Anakin and you are Obi-Wan and you're fighting each other. That is fun That's not fun Fortnite, sorry. That's fun Star Wars for me.
Ah ha ha. The Complete Saga.
That one's
Lego
hands
Star Wars,
down the best.
Complete Saga. Oh man.
that one is just cartoony. The vibes are immaculate on that one.
Oh.
You can't go wrong with that one. That one's the
It's
best,
so
hands down.
Good, man. That's so good.
Also, another thing that I was just gonna say, we talk about Star Wars a lot. We don't talk a lot about Indiana Jones, though.
True.
Like-
Indiana Jones, dope.
We're getting another movie of it next year. I'm wondering.
Isn't it Young Indy?
No, it's with Harrison Ford.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. It's still his fedora. That's what he said.
Right, because they were gonna give it to Chris Pratt.
People wanted him to give it to Chris Pratt, and he's like, "Nope, this is my fedora." But like,
I didn't realize they were doing one next year.
I'm excited to see how it pans out compared to Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like Indiana Jones. He's not nearly as popular as Star Wars. He's not the pop culture he once was.
No.
I literally told a kid Indiana Jones the other day, and he was like, "Who's Indiana Jones?" He had no idea who Indiana
That's
Jones was.
disrespectful to the Ford name.
I'm not kidding. Like, he legitimately looked at me and was like, "Who's Indiana Jones?" I'm like, "Have you ever seen a guy with a cowboy with a fedora that's a treasure hunter?" Like, I tried to explain it. He's like, "I've never even heard of him." And I'm like, "Wow." But like,
But
you
it
can
was, like, so influential in this like nowadays like adventure
I know.
kind of movies. What?
Tomb Raider is more popular.
Well, true, because they have a recent movie.
Well, even the video games.
True.
Just in the pop culture of like.
Disrespectful though.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up on Indiana Jones, bro. Well, not watching the movies, but like
The Lego
the
games.
the
Lego
world,
sets.
all of it. Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, I don't.
That's that.
I love Star Wars. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I hate being sad by what it was
Mm-hmm.
compared to what it is now. And I get times change, things do move on,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Wait
I
a
think-
second. There's Lego Star Wars 3, the original trilogy.
yeah, that was like they.
That was before even the. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
I think the original saga actually it's like a remastered.
2006 was when it was released.
I think that one was
This is from Wikipedia, by the way.
that one was remade into the complete trilogy, the complete saga.
Really?
Yeah. It was, they added in the, what's it called?
Oh, the complete saga is all of them all
Mhm.
together.
Yeah.
Because there's also the Lego Star Wars the video game,
Mm-hmm.
which is the which is the first three,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the original, which is the third, the middle three,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the complete saga, which is all of them added together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also have to go, answering your question again,
Mhm.
you can't go wrong with Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars. That one was a fun one
Dope.
too.
Oh my goodness.
Like that one, the best mission on
it
it.
was a little annoying at times, but okay, if I'm calling out all my OG gamers for the Lego Star Wars games. Remember the mode where you would buy artillery tanks, you would buy aircraft, you would buy
and
then
you'd
you
have
would
to
just
defeat
fight.
the droids.
Mm-hmm. It was wave after wave of droids. Oh my goodness, they've never had a more original mode that you could ever play or mission
In Lego.
Oh my
That one,
goodness,
we
that one
still,
so
well, we
good.
still don't. But that one was the one that like, I would say that was like the OGBR. You
Oh
against
my
the
goodness,
droids.
yeah.
Like that one was just so much fun, especially when you had a heavy guy and you just like, that one was just
So
so
much
hectic,
fun.
but so much fun.
I loved how that their guns would never overheat too.
like I
you know,
did,
you got the nowadays where you got to reload and stuff like that. Back then in the Lego video games,
You just-
never reloaded, never warmed up the gun
Yeah.
at all. Zero.
in the combat style, I have to say, like I don't like the new the system of like where you have to button smash. It feels more like a Injustice style where you like have to combo, double up, like
Mega kill.
whatever you call. What is the Street Fighter style?
Kill streak.
Arcade fighter.
Double whammy, triple slammy.
But like, yeah, I just the original ones were like you just pulled the trigger. It was more simple combat.
Yeah.
The newer ones, it's like all like you have to double click A to slap C. It just the
Yeah.
combat's lacking.
It's not the original. It doesn't have the same heart. Like I was remembering, I saw it was a YouTube short. I don't know who it was from, but it was a YouTube short, and it was
Oh, yeah.
there was this little part of the mission. It wasn't it had nothing to do with
was a
like
secret room.
main part of the mission, but it was a little secret room. You just go to like the left. You would start building something. You would build it. It would finish, and then I think it was on
Kaminoans.
Kaminoa, and 2 Kaminoans would come out and start dancing on like this little dance floor, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember that.
The caption was, but does your Lego Star Wars have this?
Yes, it was like a comparison
Like,
between the new one and the
I'm
old
not a
one.
big. I haven't seen much of the new one. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the new combat either.
No. That's the main reason why I'm not getting the new one.
We played the Lego Avengers. We played the.
I love the Lego Avengers. Even that one was a lot of fun. It's
But
just
its
the
combat
combat
style is-
was the worst.
Oh my goodness.
Like I like being able to just like 4 times fire at somebody, they're gone. I don't like having to like pick them up, slam them down, do a special finishing move on them. It slows the
Takes
game
too
down.
long.
I do have to say, the original Battlefront though was a fun one. Battlefront 2, it had a rough start. That one
Really,
was.
I remember. We got it.
I got it month of it releasing,
It was rough.
and that was the
bro.
worst $80 and I worked hard in order. Well, I worked actually. Let's be real. I'm pretty well at that when it came out. I worked every day, so
You worked hard though.
I still worked hard to get it, but I'm not gonna be like I worked hard every single day in order to afford it. I was probably rolling in the dough back then.
Actually, you were.
I'm
you know.
kidding. I definitely was not. But but like I got it. We never had PlayStation Plus, so I didn't really matter. It was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still rough.
Very, very.
And then
rough.
I went back to play it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, how do people still play this game? The movement even is like so slow. Like I'm sitting there walking, I'm like everybody's fighting, I'm like wait for me,
Yeah.
I'm coming. I played the when we still had the PlayStation Plus, so that way I
yes.
could play Ewok Hunt.
Yeah, I played Ewok Hunt once. Terrified the crap out of me, guys. Terrifying.
That one's actually a lot of fun. Ewok Hunt.
I think there was another short. It was the Lego Star Wars, and there was just like it was little cute little combat, little lightsaber battle going on, and then it was like this is your video game, and then it was and this is my video game, and it's a Ewok just landing on a stormtrooper with a spear out from the hot when it first came out with the trailers. Oh my goodness, I was like, oh my goodness, that's so true. It freaked me out.
In Republic Commando, you cannot go wrong with the OG Republic Commando game.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Hands
too.
down, one of the most fun you can ever have. I still have a copy. I should actually get it on this PC.
It was on. Oh, it was on your Xbox.
Yeah,
Nuts.
yeah. But
Anyway.
I have an original disc edition of it.
True.
Original disc, still in case and
That'd
sleeve.
probably be worth quite a bit. If
It's
it was-
worth absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yep, Disney tanked it.
Why? Oh, they released it.
No,
Really?
Disney tanked because the value of
Disc?
especially older memorabilia like that, it doesn't keep its value if they tank the product.
Mm.
So like Mandalorian, unfortunately, kind of tanked the value of.
Oh,
product.
because it's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
Ah ha ha. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's cool. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but like it's not worth anything.
What's
but
your
it's still
favorite-
fun.
Okay, I have a question. What's your favorite Lego set? Star Wars Lego set. Okay. Okay. Word?
First ever Legos. This will show you how
OG.
OG. This is the first ever Lego Star Wars set where they have this color of skin, where they actually started doing the color of skin on their characters.
My favorite, if you don't mind, the Y-wing. That's my favorite. It's not actually even mine. It's my dad's, but that is my favorite. I always love the Y-wings. That's my favorite. And look how OG that is. That is OG, dude. They've even still got the yellow faces.
This one.
Oh, yes.
That one's a cool one. This one's not
Oh,
mine. This
yeah.
is again our dad's, but
Yeah.
look at that thing.
Those are like if you're on podcast, by the way, we just showed a picture, not a picture, a Lego set, Y-wing Lego set, the OG one.
You can come see him on stream if you want.
Yeah, come on stream twitch.tv/the2brosgaming. Sorry, twitch.tv/the2brosgaming. On
Or maybe
Twitch,
one day on
we're
YouTube. We're not
streaming.
sure.
We'll see there. Don't know what Twitch is doing.
But yeah,
Please, if
again,
you're on
for
social
podcast.
media, please tell Twitch not to do the stupid stuff that they do.
Podcasts. It's the original Lego Jedi Interceptor. Back when they first started coloring their faces instead of just the yellow brick head.
Yeah.
That one would be my all-time favorite.
And then it was a Y-wing, the OG Y-wing, and then it was the OG Darth Vader. Back when they stole the two pieces.
The TIE Advanced.
Wait, did they not have the two pieces on that for that Darth Vader?
No.
It wasn't the two piece. It was the single piece
The single piece what?
helmet.
Oh, it's a single piece helmet. It was just way longer.
Yeah.
Like they didn't change it much. The new one looks similar to the old one.
I've got the two piece Darth Vader. I should really get that out. I really like that.
I want to build some Lego and put it up behind us.
That'd be really cool.
Maybe when you're going to a new PC wall.
New PC wall,
We can
bunch
put
of
some
Lego.
sets. Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then we can have the camera.
One follow
We-
equals
we are-
one piece on the Lego set that we're building at the time. Imagine 20 million years later.
We
finally
have
got some followers.
20,000 followers. This is us, Two Bros Gaming. Could somebody find my dentures, please? Because this is 80 years in the future.
Yeah, but that's a little off topic. But I think we talked mostly about what we wanted to talk about May the 4th.
Yeah.
We've never really been to any of the celebrations for May the 4th,
Now,
unfortunately.
we have been to a Comic-Con once.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Um,
Met members of the 501st.
that was also cool.
I
Actually,
s-
we've been to 2 Comic-Cons.
The
saw
one in Regina doesn't count as a Comic-Con.
That is a huge Comic-Con, actually.
Compared to Calgary Comic-Con,
Compared to Calgary Comic-Con, no.
Calgary could fit 5 of Regina's Comic-Cons
But it was still
safely.
a decent sized Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
It's still a Comic-Con. It's very big.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a one-day event, though.
No, it's a 2-day.
2-day?
No, maybe it's a 1-day.
No, it's a one-day because we helped set up a booth
Oh, yeah.
and set up a booth.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool because we got to see like the actors and that was cool.
Oh, actually, we actually got a handle. It was a replica of Han Solo and Carbonite signed by
Oh,
Han
yeah.
Solo. Not Han Solo, sorry. Signed by the actor of Boba Fett.
Right.
That was cool. That shows you how like we saw his name. That was amazing.
That was really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's probably been one of the franchises most of my life that, like, I like Marvel. Star Wars still holds everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those ones where as much as I dislike some of what the stuff Disney's done,
Mm-hmm.
I
I hope for it.
hope for it to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Bad Batch. That's amazing. First season Mandalorian, amazing.
Yeah.
Rogue One, amazing.
Mm-hmm. I think we gotta actually wrap it up quickly here.
We probably actually do. But yeah, I think Star Wars has some really good things about it.
And I
And
hope for the
comment
best
down
of Star
below
Wars.
if you're on YouTube. What is your favorite thing about Star Wars?
If you're on YouTube, I could probably also phrase it as a question in the Spotify. Spotify has something. I don't know what it actually does, but
Wait, Spotify has something like that?
something. I don't know what it's actually.
Well, if you know what's
it
on Spotify, please explain it to us. We probably won't see it because I have no idea how to read Spotify comments if they have them.
So explain how to do it on YouTube, not Spotify.
Yeah,
because
come over
we'll
to
probably
YouTube,
never see
watch
it.
our video there, and tell us of how to do it on Spotify,
Yeah.
and then
while
we
you're
can.
over on our YouTube channel, hit the follow button, hit that sub button, hit that like button on that video. It really helps us out.
Actually, technically, the only thing that really matters now on YouTube is forget the subscribe button, ring the bell, and once you get notified, click it and watch at least 10 minutes of the video. Do not watch it and you just click
Well,
off.
the sub button would help too.
Yeah, actually, but YouTube doesn't pay attention to sub anymore. But make sure you watch. This isn't even for us. If you're on YouTube and you click the sub button and ring the bell, make sure to watch that video when you get notified. It destroys a video's ratings if you
Please
do
do.
not watch. I'm just giving you a heads up of even if you sign it like to Linus Tech Tips or
I didn't know I
Paul's
did that.
Donuts. If you like do that to anybody, it will destroy, because technically you have to think of it this way as like it's your community's your most valuable members of your community. You're telling you when you just like click on watch for a minute and then exit,
Ah,
it has like a different sort of stat that's like
Oh.
even worse because
yeah, I bet it
it
would.
basically is telling YouTube your most valued community does not even like this video, which it's not always true. It's just sometimes you like start a video and you're like, oh, look at the time, the bus is here.
Yeah,
But that's completely, we're diverging on a different topic now.
we are. But if you're over
That's
on
the
YouTube,
moral
hit
of the
that sub button,
podcast.
hit that like button. If you're and also go to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv//TheTubeBros Gaming. Also go to our YouTube channel, which is
Hit the sub.
TubeBros Gaming on YouTube.
Yep.
Hit the sub button.
We are the Alberta Avalanche.
Yeah, this is the Alberta Avalanche podcast. Thank you so much for coming on in. Thank you guys, and always remember, the Porgs love you. We love you. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
And Kevin loves you.